Yeah, yeah, yeah. You looking for me, you can find me at the spot. Chopping it up with Jona, we talking about what's hot on the block. Up in Dago, man, we bumping. Keeping it confidential, you know this how we coming, we in front. Looking for that real, better tune in and stick by. Put on for the city every time that I dip by. Getting to that gritty every time that we sit down. Promise you it's real every time that I get round. Come on. Been in the field playing, we working.
It's your host, Jona, the one and only Barbershop Confidential, the podcast. We going to hit up Barbershop Confidential, the podcast. Your boy, Jona. Yes, sir. We back. We're going to actually call one of the followers on IG, Twitter. He follows us everywhere. I know who he is, but I don't know if he wants us to say. So we're going to keep it anonymous, and we're going to see what he has to say. You can hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Chilling. How are you?
Chilling, man. So you want to keep it anonymous, or do you want me to say who you are?
Just keep it anonymous.
Let's keep it anonymous then. All right. Okay. So what's up, man? What you got to share with us? You had somebody have you arrested?
Oh, yeah. That was like, what year are we in? Yeah, that was 11 years ago? Yeah, long time.
That was a long time ago. So what happened, man? Defend yourself.
Oh, geez. There's no defense in being too drunk, I could tell you that.
Oh, so it was like a drunken moment?
Yeah, for the most part. But, I can't quote unquote say that. Otherwise, it's not quote unquote taking responsibility. So I'll just say it was
So you own up to it?
Yeah, I own up to being too drunk. Yeah, I mean.
Was the being arrested like overkill, like too much?
To be honest, yeah, I know a bunch of other people that probably wouldn't go that far. I mean, somebody entered my house, but a loved one, but I didn't call the cops. It was just a very crazy situation. I moved on and said, "Hey, just get home safely. We'll talk later." But I wouldn't, because it's a lot of it's a lot of court stuff. I would.
Shit.
That's what I figured when it happened to me. But I mean, I wasn't even thinking cops when it happened to me. I was like, dude, just please get home. That's it.
Right.
But again, this was, when we were all young and dumb. Hopefully not that dumb, but
we all make mistakes. We all done stupid shit we regret.
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, since then, has there been any communication? Were you mad? Wouldn't you be mad? Like, yo, you really called the cops on me?
I mean, you can be to an extent. I mean, in other words, I could be quote unquote lucky because I didn't get shot at.
Oh, that's true.
Another thing is, I kind of felt there was a little hypocrisy. You can enter my house. Oh, that's without any alcohol, just huge emotion, just emotionally in a crazy moment. But I did nothing to do that to you. I wouldn't even think of that. Plus, the cops probably wouldn't even show up. I mean, come on. They'd be like,
oh, your girlfriend is in your house?
Oh, yeah, your girlfriend in your house? Oh, am I going to let her leave? Because that's kind of the bias. Right. I mean, she can shoot me blank range. Oh, okay, hold on. Now we got to do something.
But
I mean, the only animosity is, of course, it really derails somebody in their life, of course, in a sense. I mean, it kind of just, you're kind of in this position like, now you got to be extra cautious. You meet the wrong girl again. And she makes a lie.
It does
and now
come with some trauma, huh?
Well, yeah. Or even when the cops pull you over, it's like you're thinking, "Oh, great! Is there a warrant for just for fun and games, or
for being drunk,
or no, just a warrant for like if I'm getting pulled over? Oh, is there a warrant for just driving? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Or even like you go through a checkpoint and you're not driving, you just have a different mindset because you don't know if they're just gonna mess with you. I mean, I'm sure they'll do we'd like to think the cops will do the right thing.
Right.
They won't pull out hopefully they don't mistake their gun for a taser or vice versa. But,
it sucks
like you have that.
Those are concerns of ours these days.
Exactly. But you're also, whenever you go through that process, you're thinking, oh, great, what's next? Even a speeding ticket gives you that. It's like, oh, great. But I mean, eventually we all get over it,
Yeah. I mean, it's been so long now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's been years.
But it just definitely gives you a little. I mean, they're the quote unquote Blue Lives Matter people are like, oh, they want to think they're better than the people that, if they've been arrested, they go Blue Lives Matter. They think they're better than everyone. But it's like, I just see it as, it happened. you see a little difference how you view law enforcement, and even like based on your podcast in a way. No, I mean in a funny way. Kind of a distrust with women a little bit, if you get
Almost
what I'm
definitely.
saying.
Yeah, definitely. Because now
I
you gotta have
mean,
your guard up for sure. Next time you meet a
yes.
woman, you're like, okay, is she gonna potentially call the cops on me? It's gonna be a round two
Yeah.
of that last situation. Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, there's a girl even before that. Like we're talking, when I was 19. We broken up. I didn't even. I was, she had a lot of issues, mental issues. She called the cops to my house,
Oh wow.
and I didn't even wasn't even home a couple of times. I was I was at a Padre game working, and then the cops showed up. Like, hey, apparently you're vetting and then no one was home, so she was off, and she got charged for whatever. So even that, it's like you're wondering, like, great. Is there going to be another cuckoo out there? It's really tough to tell.
Yeah, we definitely have to find a way to like weed them out, huh? Like we need to find like the perfect type of questionnaire we can do like on a date that kind of weeds out these like these women that are a little bit on the cuckoo side.
Yeah, just ask them. Hey, when is an appropriate time to dial 911? I mean,
because I've heard crazy stories. Like I had a friend of mine who the girl, he was kicking her out of his apartment. She called the cops and they came and kicked him out. And he's like, yo, what the this is my apartment. Like, she's not on the lease. They had to get like the people at the office to like prove that it was his apartment.
Oh my
and they believed
God.
her the whole time. He was just like, yo, what the fuck? This is my apartment. What are we doing here? And because it's a woman, they believed her. And I guess in the defense of the cops, they have to assume that, she wouldn't be lying about something like that, but it's fucked up. It's super fucked up.
I mean, unless a male is dead in a situation between male and female, there's nothing you can do, really. Like, it's like, you got to be dead. I mean, you look at Jodi Arias, she got away with everything, and finally she got for murder. It's like, okay. It has to go to that point, in a sense, With
men, it becomes guilty until proven innocent.
It's like in Mexico.
Exactly.
Right.
We're just gonna throw you in jail and then we'll figure it out. Oh, okay, you're good. You can go now. Like, yo, I just spent like 3 years in jail. I'm like, yeah, but you're fine. You'll live. You can go now. And it's like, no, man.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like that, man. That sucks. I hope you never run into her again.
I mean, I have, but not like that. It's just been in, same restaurants. Like, I'm on a date with yeah, it was. I was like with a girl I'm talking to right now, and she knows about her. And then all of a sudden, we're sitting there at a place, Board and Brew, and we're like, oh, what the heck? Like, I was just sitting there. I was like, what in the hell? You got to be joking right now.
Of all the places, of all the gin joints.
I know. Like, you got 1,000 places in San Diego, and it has to be that one.
Right.
Like, I mean, there's a Board and Brew in Orange County. There's one in Petco Park. But and I'm sitting there with the girl, and she's just like, you okay? I was like,
Did you have like flashbacks? Like, fuck. Are the
not
cops gonna come in here?
No, not that kind. I was just like, okay, like, why does she want to stay here? There's so many other places she could go. But I think, it's been a long time, and she just wants to, maybe she's just over it, and she doesn't want to make it more awkward than it is, like run away, which she probably would have done. So I was just like, whatever,
Yeah.
I just enjoyed my food, enjoyed my time with the girl, because we have a great time. So it was just kind of like that.
That's crazy though. Did that girl you're dating, you told her about the situation?
Yeah, I told her about it.
Was that like a red flag for her? Like, oh fuck, like
here's the funny thing is that somehow, she was at a cousin's party. I'm sleeping because I got to work the next day. I'm a delivery driver, so you can't really be up at like 2 a.m. getting popping.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she calls, I guess. Okay, so my phone goes on do not disturb automatically at 11 o'clock. So I was asleep, and I kind of just woke up to use the restroom, and I got 5 missed calls from her, and she's like, "Hey, we need to talk."
Oh fuck!
What?
No guy wants to hear that shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, this was like in September, maybe a month and a half after we rekindled. Long story short, I sold her a car and we rekindled.
Oh, okay.
It's super weird. I used to be a car, so that's another story. Anyway, and she's like, I watched a video of your ex. And I'm like, wait,
A
what are you
video?
talking about?
Oh wow.
Like some sort of like a YouTube video. I'm like, what in the world? And I was like, how did you even get that? Well, I don't want to say who sent it. I'm like, okay. And I named a bunch of people she worked with. And she's like, well, that's a lot of people. I was like, okay, how did you find that out? And she said, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay, either she researched me, or either the girl I'm talking to researched me and found something, or knows my ex's name or something. She was just kind of more scared about it because she kind of went through a similar relationship, which was a lot longer. She wasn't exactly, she was just like more quote unquote cautious about it. Her homies had told her, just be cautious about it, even though it's been a long time.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I guess. And I mean, it's just more of like, how should I say it? She was just like that. But at the same time, she kind of felt that she's Amber Hearding it. Like glamorizing the past. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to say that, but I guess since it's
Wait, so there's a video of her talking about it?
Yeah, I guess. And
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. And I was like, okay, whatever. Okay. I mean, that's her choice. She does whatever she wants. But I mean, the girl I'm talking to was like, it sounds like an Amber Heard situation, kind of like glamorizing about it, and it's been so long. Why would you want to talk about it? I was like, yeah, it's true. I don't talk about my recent ex, which was, we broke up 3-4 years ago. Like we just broke contact and we let things be. So I think the girl I'm talking to right now, she's just kind of like weeding things out. I mean, we've been talking for 10, I was going to say 10 years. It's like 10 months or whatever. So she kind of I guess you could say she keeps it in the back of her mind, like just as a reference.
Did you watch this video that your ex put up?
I did. And I honestly
was it exaggerated?
I would have to say it's about 60% exaggeration and 40% truth. I think that
she had to spice it up to make it interesting.
I guess, yeah. Because the thing is that you look at like it's funny because the actual court document was, I guess, the police believed her. It was mostly accurate. Then the restraining order document was pretty exaggerated. Then the blog, I guess the girl I was talking to found, blogged about it, like a written blog. That was exaggerated even more. Then the video was exaggerated. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking like, wow, like
the stories ain't adding up. It's not mathing.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, even though I'm not mentioned by name, it's like anyone who knows her will be like, oh, well, we can redirect it to him.
Yeah.
Easily. And they're thinking, wait a second, you said this and this and this. I'm not going to say, obviously, I think everyone who, like all the mutual friends, they kind of just like, okay, that's between them. This guy's a good guy. This girl's a good girl. So we're just going to let it be,
Yeah.
And it was just fair, I don't. If like a homie of mine had an issue with his ex, it's just like, okay, that's your guys' deal. Just make sure you're all right.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I try to, from the way I see it, I just let things fizzle. I think which would make sense.
But it just doesn't seem like she has. Out here making videos and blogs about it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, that's like.
It's almost like a personality, huh?
It might be. I think it's just more of like, wow, how do you how after this long, how do you keep talking about it? I get there's a sort of trauma, but that's been a long time. It's like me talking about the great years of when I played baseball at 14. It's like, dude, that was what, 10, 20 years ago?
They're like, let it go, buddy. Let it go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's things that happened to me, but I don't have a reason to blog about it. Not the arrest, but I'm talking before that.
Right.
Even, in high school or middle school. But I mean, what do I have to do to blog about it? If somebody asks about it, fine. But that's just...
Yeah, if your therapist asks you about it, that's cool. I get it. But to be out there like public, putting it out there on big platforms and stuff, yeah, it could be overkill. And then to exaggerate it, the only thing you do is you make yourself look like a liar when they're like, wait, I didn't hear that. Why is that why is that new information? So it's a tricky situation.
And how do you get you're talking about, I mean, if something happened to you then how come I wasn't told about it? How come my attorney didn't bring it up? How come the court didn't bring it up? But you're going to do it in a blog. Right. I mean, which is, to me, it's, I doubt that's, what you would call it, like a suable thing, if that's even a word. I doubt it. But, if this was like at the time it was happening and she's blogging, then it's like, well, wait a second, is that defamation? I don't know. I don't know the law.
I was just about to say that, like, maybe you should do a little Johnny Depp Amber Heard, and because technically
Yeah, but-
she what is it? She like she publicated it. So
But I mean, yeah, that's true. But my name's not mentioned, so it could be about. She could be talking about
oh right.
another ex that she dated after me, like 2 years after me or whatever. And that could be like, well, wait a second. But unless she put my name in there, which she's not going to, then I mean, it's just for shits and giggles, if that makes sense.
Well, you're a good sport for just letting her rock and letting her cook, let her do her thing, and
yeah,
it just sucks that it still comes back to haunt you in your current relationships.
Yeah, exactly. It does a little bit. I mean, my last ex was just kind of like, well, I was in the military. I didn't get that special treatment, which is kind of true. Because in the military, if there's a domestic violence situation, let's just say, both get in trouble. I guess that's what I was told.
Oh, yeah, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess that's what she told me. And the girl has to go to therapy, and the guy has to go to therapy, or it could be two guys, two girls, whatever. Because I guess with the way the military sees it, if you're in that situation, why are you sticking around to allow it to happen? I think that's what they're thinking of. But plus, the military at one point was pretty anti-woman, so that could be another thing.
Yeah,
but
low-key still
yeah, it still kind of is anti-woman in a way, which sucks. But but I mean, and then the recent ex I was dating, she was actually a little violent to me. But I mean, I'm not gonna go out and be like, oh my god, let me glamorize it. It happened. It's the past. You move on.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we're men, right? We can take it. Like I had an ex assault me, and it's just like the people who are around, like, yo, you want us to do anything? I was like, what can she do? Like physically, what is she really gonna do to me? Like, it's cool, man. I got it. Don't trip. And it's just they look at it like that. Like, you're a big guy. You can handle it. But what are her little fists gonna do? Like, yeah, true. But if she was like a trained fighter, like I might be in trouble. Yeah. So,
well, the thing is that what if your girl's like 6'4" and you're like
right?
5'10"? Then what? Oh, what is? I mean, that's it's like.
Yeah, I put pride to the side right there. Arrest her.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Arrest her now.
Take her down.
No, yeah. No, fuck, man, that sucks.
It is what it is. You live and you learn from it. It's funny because, I'm thinking like, well, if Governor Newsom's going to be out of office, maybe a pardon might be nice, but that ain't going to happen.
Nah, it looks like he's doing some things to try to stay in, so maybe we won't get a pardon for a while.
Yeah, I know. maybe.
At this point, it's just an interesting story to tell and laugh about, really.
Yeah, my old attorney was like, you can laugh about it later. I'm like, I don't know if I want to really laugh about it later. Yeah,
at a party, like, you guys want to hear a funny joke? I got arrested once for.
Yeah, like, come on, man, we're not gonna say that.
They're gonna grab their wives real snug and like, let's go, honey.
That's just. Like, I don't even, like, I have no reason to tell people that. I mean, you only tell that to people. I mean, my homies that I've been with, and it's funny because there's this guy that knows my first ex, and then later down the road, try to get with my second ex.
Oh, wow. That's not a homie at all.
Exactly. Yeah, right. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. And then I think he just tried to play it off. And anyway, but he was like, guys like him, let's just say, they knew about it. And they were like, okay, dude, this girl's a little cuckoo, but at the same time, you're my boy. So let's just, everyone kind of just kept their cool. They didn't try to go kick her ass. Some other girls do. Some other ratchet girls wanted to. I'm like, no, come on. That's going to make me look like the bad guy. Then I'm going to go to jail because your dumbass decided to punch her,
and then she fell down some stairs and cracked her skull open, and the possibilities are endless. So
I know.
Catch a case for something so stupid. Another case.
You can get in Utah, you can get a catch a case for speaking Spanish. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. But anyway.
For not being Mormon, you can catch a case.
Yeah, right. Or drinking beer on a Sunday or having premarital sex. I mean, my goodness.
The way that's how some of these states are going.
Yeah, after Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
Like now they want to take things back to the 30s.
To the fucking Stone Age and shit.
Well, I don't even think they had the Stone Age. Just don't assault. Just don't eat let the dinosaur eat somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, you live and learn. You just move on from it.
You're a good sport about it, though. I'll tell you that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, geez, and then I lost kind of lot. It kind of derailed me from my that I had a decent job. I could have been
It
there for a
affected your
while.
job?
It kind
Yes.
of did. I mean, I worked for a job for I was going to be at 5 year anniversary,
Oh wow.
and unfortunately, I guess you could say my boss kind of snitched on me a little because I was going through a weird time, and one of the managers from another store didn't like me, and I helped him out, and he didn't like how I was that day. It's like, dude, really? Like, seriously, you're gonna hate on me for that? And then I didn't do something else, which I kind of felt shy doing, and then I got a write up, and then they had the district manager talk to me, and she pretty much revealed my business,
Oh
and I'm
wow.
like,
Isn't that illegal?
Priscilla.
Wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's within the company. It might be a little different,
Oh.
but I don't know. I mean, it was so long ago. But I'm thinking, like, dude, like you're gonna rat on me, like, kinda, and then, but yet you can talk on the phone for hours with a married man that works in another store. Like, okay. I mean,
Right. The
I wasn't gonna bring that
hypocrisy.
up. Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring that up in front because then it's gonna be like, well, where's the proof? And then
Yeah,
it
and then
gets
it's
even
just like,
worse.
well, you're just trying to do that because, you know, they brought
Yeah,
up this and it's just revenge and you could be lying.
yeah,
Eh?
yeah. I mean, there was worse stuff that happened in the company, and I was like, whoa. But I can't mention it because I signed a stupid severance agreement. But they're going bankrupt now anyway.
Oh, that's what they
So
get, karma.
yeah, seriously. But um, but yeah, so yeah, it kind of did affect my job, and it actually was hard getting a job. But I think those probation assholes, I just think they just tell you these are the only jobs you can get. I think they say that, to be honest, because they want to make sure that they feel better about their stupid job. They have a shitty job, so they want to make you get a shittier job than them.
Yeah,
When
they
in
don't want you
fact,
to succeed.
exactly. Not only that, it's just and it's funny because my mom actually knows a union delegate, union leader for all the unions in San Diego. He retired, and I think he's running for council or something. But he said he was complaining. Well, not complaining. He was preaching to everybody like, "Hey, so how?" He didn't really understand why a lot of people weren't going for union jobs because, because those trades need workers.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, why don't those assholes at the probation like tell them, hey, you can join a union? Because you know why? Because you can make so much more money than those assholes. It's so obvious. Like, and I'm thinking like to myself, dude, I mean, even though it's not really my kind of work, but it's like, well, wait a second.
It's an
That's
option.
Oh, that's a good option because I
Yeah.
mean, you can make 35 an hour even if I tried to be a boilermaker, but it would have been such a long training. It would have been like, I mean, it would take like 3 years in an internship, not an internship, I forgot, apprentice. And it's like, but at the end, you'll make 58 an hour, even. And if you work 16 hours, I mean, sometimes you're working 16 hours a day. So you can bring in from 80,000 to 200,000. I mean, it depends, obviously, different
Right.
factors.
Well,
So
would
I
it be
think,
for everybody? Like you said, it'd be for like, there's some people that's the best option and they don't, they don't mind doing all the labor work and all the training, which would be good for them. But like you said,
yeah,
they're gonna get hated on by the probation officers. Like,
yeah. Oh,
nah, we
well,
make like 50. What do you mean you're gonna make 80
yeah,
and you're a
exactly.
you're on probation? No, 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 no. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You can't make too much money because if you make too much money, then, you know,
Hello.
yeah. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, yeah. I cut off for a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. But that's just how it is with that they are. They just want to how should I say it, like to make themselves feel better about their job. But that's,
About their shitty life.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is that and there you can now that the laws changed in San Diego or California where you can have a record, I think, but I think it only dates back to a certain amount of years. So it's a little bit of a help because back then it was like if it shows up then you're automatically disqualified or whatever. But it's like,
Um,
but it's funny, like a teacher can go in, all clean, have sex with the student, and then, oh, well, now they're in trouble. But it's like, it's funny because they eliminate all the guys who've already been there, done that, but yet they allow these clean men to have sleep with their students. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, that's where it's like, okay, come on, guy.
I mean, things are changing everywhere. I mean, they don't even they hardly even drug test for jobs anymore. Because I mean, jobs are, there's so many jobs now, and people don't want to work, or people. And I don't know about people not wanting to work. I think people now know that their value, and they're like, nah, you want you need to pay better. And so these companies are struggling to fill these positions. They're just like, yo, you can smoke weed. Like, just please come work.
No, it's kind of like that meme where they have to press the button, pay higher wages, or don't pay higher wages and struggle, where, and then he's like sweating.
Like, we'll struggle.
Yeah. So, but
who knows, man?
Yeah, I don't know how we got from arrest to this.
I know, right?
Delivery, but I mean, I guess that's just how conversations go,
Exactly, and that's what this podcast is all about. Just random conversations with new people.
Well, let me ask you this: do you ever feel that you might get a little off topic, a little too far? Like you go from talking about, let's just say you had a subject about, this is just being a joke, like toxicity, and then it goes all the way to jumping jacks. Do you ever feel like it gets too random, or do you think it's just kind of you just
I let it go, but then sometimes what happens is we're talking about something and I want to go back to that, the conversation veers and I want to come back, but then by the time I remember, it's just like, I got to let it go. It's been so long now. Like, it would be silly to come all the way back to where it started from, so I just let it go.
Okay.
Yeah, and since it's unscripted and not planned, I mean, it's just like any other conversation with like friends and shit. You just start talking about one thing, and then next thing you're talking about something completely different. So you just gotta let it go, and then it makes people feel like that's real life. Like there's nothing here is like planned or scripted. So
right.
Okay. Yeah, I know sometimes it can get out of hand, and it's just like fuck. Okay, I try to make a better effort more now to be like, okay, let's try to stay on track on subject. But when there's more than two people, and it just gets out of hand, and that's just what it is.
Right. I mean, I don't know. My ADHD kicks in. I'll admit it goes into like you start talking. It's like Dory, oh fish or whatever she used to say.
Sometimes I feel like I have it because I'll be like, we'll be talking about sports, and I'm like, oh shit, bitches, and then I'll just get off subject.
I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like what was it? The movie Up, where the dog. I mean, I'm not saying we're dogs.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. It's like that.
For a minute, it's like women are all like, oh, we're talking about sports, and it's like, oh my god, look at booty, and it's like, wait, what were we talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I'll admit it. I think in general we kind of do because, I mean, I was diagnosed at Loma Linda University, but that was a little different. That was more consistent with certain things. But I think when people get onto other subjects, that's a little different.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to have a hard time, like focusing on reading a whole paragraph and only picking up certain types of sentences versus talking about like, oh, well, let's talk about eating let's talk about the recipe we saw last night. And then, it turns into like, Cadillac converters or something,
It get you right. Like, so I was at the superstore and then I saw some guys stealing a Cadillac, and you're like, what? Wait, hold on. We're talking about spaghetti recipes. Yeah. What are we talking about? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And but it just, I kind of like it because you never know what's, it keeps it interesting. Because if you're staying on one subject, sometimes you're just kind of like, all right, man, like let's move it on to something else, because then it gets repetitive and kind of boring, especially if the two people agree. Like there has to be some disagreement for it to be like interesting and keep both people engaged.
Oh my god, like that one podcast where I believe you were like, oh my god, this is a controversial conversation, and it was about comparison between like a male bull and like cartels. I'm like, what? There's no crazy argument. It's just it's just a different. I mean, but I get what both points were saying. Like, I'm like, cartels have been going on, or some form has been going on for a long time. And then a man watching his wife getting it from another guy. That's just, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Gabriel for that one.
That's too extreme, but whatever floats their boat.
Yeah, I mean, just. You just gotta let them rock, man. Let people say what they want to say, and hopefully everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, that's a good point of putting it.
Yeah. Well, I do want to thank you, man. I didn't want to take up too much of your time.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it for telling us your story. Interesting. Yeah. I hope you stay away from that girl. Don't ever don't look in her direction. Put a restraining order on her, actually. Like,
Oh yeah, for just doing that shit 10 years ago. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. The court's gonna be like, sir, this happened 10 years ago.
You're gonna get a
There's no
fine for
jurisdiction.
wasting their time for
Yeah,
sure.
right.
So
You're gonna have to pay the fee for the court's time. No, I'm kidding. But no, but I mean, you go your separate ways. I let things fizzle. But I have zero reason to blog about my experience. I've seen
right,
okay, real quick, but I've seen a guy on TikTok. He talked about being in prison for a long time, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess that's something different. But I guess he was trying to compare how his life before, during, and after. But I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just think that there's a certain point something's gotta give. Is my new quote.
right.
Overall, like just in general. But anyway, I don't want to keep going, and my ADHD kicks in. Well, thank you for the phone call. I really appreciate it.
No worries,
Maybe
man. I
one day.
appreciate you being down to do this, and
All right, thank you for the call.
I appreciate it,
Have a
man.
good
Have a
night.
good one. Well, and that was a random conversation with one of our followers, guests. Whenever you guys want to call in and chit chat, tell me something, interesting, go ahead. This is a safe space. This is a safe space for everybody, including you. Safe. It could be anonymous. You can say your name. I don't care. You want to tell me some cheating? You want to tell me who's cheating on who? I don't care. I'll listen. You want to talk about random stuff like unions? I'm with it. But anyways, it's your boy, Barbershop Confidential, the podcast. Shout out to the first time listener, last time listeners, and from wherever you're listening from, shout out to that city. All right, peace.
Yeah, 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 yeah.